Let's try this again, guys. This is take two. Hello, my name is Amy. I'm from Little Farm Quilts. Today is Tuesday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you if you are a Star Wars follower. Wow, how do we get into May already? If you're new, thanks for stopping by. If you're returning, thanks for hanging in there with me. I know it's sporadic sometimes, but I really appreciate it. And if you want to get notified when new videos go up, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all of that good stuff. The reason I'm recording on Tuesday is because I'm unexpectedly home from work early. And my husband went to the office today for I think only the second time in over a year. So I'm here by myself with my dogs. The only thing we may have to contend with, it's a beautiful day here. I have the window open and a stray tractor could go by. But if so, I'm just going to pause and we're just going to kind of go with it because it's good lighting and we're going to go ahead and go for it. You may notice, if you're not new here, that I'm in another space. My mom used to live 5 hours north of me, and when she would come down for a visit, she needed a room to stay in. So the bedroom I'm sitting in was her bedroom. She has since bought a place of her own 5 or 10 minutes from here and doesn't need a bedroom. So I have commandeered this bedroom. So this bedroom is now my sewing and stitching space, and my long arm studio is downstairs. So I've kind of expanded my space a little bit. It's kind of nice. I have a nice old dresser that I refurbed that is storing a bunch of stuff. All my fabrics up here, my favorite sewing machines are up here. I have a TV so I can watch FlossTube. I have a chair if I want to stitch in here. So it's slowly coming together. I do have a blank wall over my ironing area that is going to be a sampler wall. It is empty right now. That's why you're not facing that wall. You're facing this that has actually something there. But it'll be nice. It'll slowly come together. It'll be good. I have lots to show today. I have whips that I've been working on. I have 2 FFOs. I have a finish that I don't remember if I showed or not. So we're going to show that, I think, first so I can make sure to get it out of the way. I think I may have shown this, and I'm actually going to toss the project bag out of the way. This is Jack Frost Tree Farm. This is parts 1 through 4. I was going to do all 7 parts in one piece, and then I had an idea that I would stop at 1 through 4 on this and make it into a plaque that can hang on the wall. And the other 3 parts that go down below this, if you stitch it all in one place, I actually like the thought of making them into smalls and putting them on my tier tray. So if I didn't show this, here it is. If I did show it, just tolerate my not remembering whether I showed it or not. It is stitched on 28 count tea and coffee dyed Monaco that I did by myself. And I started this in Mania of 2019, so it certainly did take me a long time to get that finished. So I guess I have a couple FFOs as well. So this was a freebie from Ink Circles on Patreon. It's called Love Bug. She put this out for her Patreon members, of which I used to be one. I'm not on Patreon anymore because honestly I don't have the time to look at it all, so it just didn't make any sense. It's like the magazines I get that I look at once and never look at again. So, but I finished. This is stitched on, I believe it's 36 count R&R, and I want to say it's Coffee's Brew or something like that. I don't remember, but it is backed with this pretty paisley fabric, and it's got the tiny mini pom-pom from Lady Dot Creates. So that's a little pillow. And then this was a finish and an FFO. I think I showed the finish last time though. This is B. This is from one of the Prairie Schooler patterns. It is B, and I also finished that with the black mini pom-pom, and I backed it with the black velveteen. And so those will go here in my sewing room somewhere. Or they might go out in my tier tray when I switch it over to summer. But I've got those. So I actually had 2 FOs and a finish. Now the finish might have been a repeat show. I don't know, but we'll just go with that. We'll leave haul to last and we're going to talk about what I stitched on this week, and then we're going to talk about how I'm handling Mania. And I did talk about it in my last video a little bit, but I definitely have firmed that up a little bit more. So the first piece I want to show you is one I stitch on every day. It is called Lost No More. It's a Dimensions Gold Kit. I purchased this back in the 1990s, stitched on it, stuck it away, never stitched on it again. So I have recently, especially this year, pulled it back out. And I've transitioned this to my KZ Creation lap frame, which I love. And here he is. So I'm working in this area over here. And I've done some of the back stitching around Jesus's head, because I decided to do the back stitching as I went. So this year, I've done all of this right here. The rest was done before. And so I stitch on him every morning. He is the piece that I'm using for the 21,000 in 2021 for Full Coverage Fanatics. I enjoy stitching on it very much. There's some days I stitch on it a lot. Some days I stitch on it a little. We're going to hope my 70-pound lab puppy does not knock the camera. Hi, dude. Someday we'll get him to say hi to everybody. Right now he's just excited somebody's home. Okay. And what else have I worked on this week? I have worked on, let's pull this out. Sorry, nothing's ironed or anything today either, guys, because I honestly was not planning to do a floss tube today. But opportunity presents itself, you might as well, huh? So the other whip I worked on, now I'm not getting a ton of stitching done because this is the last 2 weeks of the semester in which I'm teaching, and it's just really busy. But the next one is Fruit of Plenty. It's Modern Folk Embroidery. Jacob, his stitch along for this year, for 2021. I'm stitching this on 36 count porcelain by Lakeside Linens. I'm not stitching it with the called for threads. I have chosen my own threads, and I'm sorry it's not ironed. It's pretty wrinkly because I do stitch in hand most of the time. So let me get this folded so you'll be able to see it. Let's do it this way. Okay. So that's January's. Yep, that's January's. February is the middle. March is that end, right? Yes. And then April, I've started here. Let me fold this in half so I can manage it. April, I've started right here. And May has come out, so I will bleed right into May as I work on it. String. So I'm stitching it. So sometimes it's 1/2 and sometimes it's 2/2. And I've talked about this in my previous things. So let's take, and I have 3 colors. Let's take this panel to see. This urn was stitched 2/2 in my favorite gray. I believe it's 37.90 maybe. Hold on. Let me look. It's 823. Everything gets lost in this pouch. 37.99. Boy, I was close. So just a nice gray. So likewise on this one, the fruit basket here was stitched 2/2 in 37.99. The The main flower stems here are stitched 2 over 2 with 823. And then these flower stems are stitched 1 over 2 with 823. Likewise, if you look at this panel, you'll see that the bird was stitched 2 over 2, but everything else for 823 was stitched 1 over 2. And I was playing with that in the beginning to see how it looked, figuring I could always add to it if I didn't like it. I typically do like 2 over 2 on 36 count. I really like how it's coming out with the dimension that it's putting it, the texture it's putting into it. So I'm going to keep going. This here, the stitching here where the background is stitched, not necessarily the pattern, that's called a CC stitching. And I am doing that in a Sulky Blendables in the colorway, I think it's Peacock. And this is what it looks like. And I'm absolutely loving how this is coming out. It's an easy stitch for me. I can stitch this at work generally. And I do plan on staying semi caught up. I'm probably always going to be a month behind. But I love stitching on it. And the only other project that I've worked on this week is my Mushroom and Fern Mandala by Chatelaine Designs. And this is a big one. So I've worked right here. I'm working this up, and then I'll be filling in things in here. I have some animals in here. I'm sure you can hear them panting. But that's when I put some beads in down here. I'm beading as I go. So when I get ready to roll this, which will be very soon, I'm going to put some felt in here to protect the beads, and I'm going to roll the frame. This is a very large scroll frame that my husband made for me. It's a 36-inch scroll frame. Yeah. But if you watched my last video, you know that I had a plan for May. So I mentioned the 21,000 in 2021 already. That's my Lost No More piece. And I mentioned Modern Folk Embroidery. So I'm trying to keep up with that. In addition to that, this year I did a WIPGO board. And I haven't been really great about being able to keep up with those. I know they're yearly goals, but I wanted to get them done each month. And I haven't been good about doing that, mainly because I'm very busy and I haven't had as much stitch time as I wanted. But it is what it is. So for the month of May, this is what I wanted to do for Mania. Every day, Lost No More will get my first 30 minutes over coffee. And every day, Monday through Friday, Mushroom and Fern will get the bulk of my stitching time. And maybe Modern Folk Embroidery. Like if I have a day like today where I'll get several hours in on Mushroom and Fern, I might work on Modern Folk Embroidery in the evening. And I do plan to get several hours on Mushroom and Fern today, so that's a possibility. On the weekends, so this is my WIPGO board. So I managed that goal because I finished it. That's Jack Frost Tree Farm. And the highlighted yellow ones, this is each month and what was called. And the orange, yellow means I met the goal. Orange means I finished it. The others I have not kept up on, but I have been keeping track of hours. So my goal was 10 hours on each project for the month. So I'm going to continue on the weekends. I'm going to work towards completing these and give Mushroom and Fern more undivided time Monday through Friday, because that's what I want done now. Like I want to get that done. And I would love, I mean, originally I thought I'd hang it in our bedroom, but I actually think I might hang it in the center of the sampler wall and put other things around it. It is. I'm still committed to not starting anything until I finish more, so this will work well for me, I think. That being said, May 1st was my 12-hour clinical day. I didn't stitch hardly at all that day. So let's go to haul, shall we? The first thing I wanted to show you guys, and I got them back here on a lamp because they're magnets. I wanted to order, so I have another full coverage that is started here that I'm not allowing myself to work on yet now. But when I do full coverage, the problem that I have is all the strings because I do the parking method. So I got the idea to get one of these from Sunshine Mama Designs from Brenda at Handwork Maniac. And this is one of those thread parking bobbins, they're calling them. But it has a magnet on it. And the butterfly is not really my style, but it'll work for me. It's got a magnet on it, so it magnets to your piece. What I didn't want happening, and let me show you that again. That's from Sunshine Mama's Designs. It's an Etsy shop. What I don't like is the same thing like Brenda said she didn't like. I didn't like the fact that the threads are flying all over the place. And then what happened with Lost No More is they actually got all knotted to the point where I had to cut the knot out. So I didn't want that to happen. Now she also sent me a cute little needle minder. And I really like that too. But I wanted to keep this out to show you. I'm not going to show you this because that's more sewing. We're not going to talk about that today. So I got the new Cross Stitch magazine. I think these are kind of cute. But this will go in my bucket of patterns back here, right behind me, right there. Because I can't start it right now. The other pattern that I got in, I must be wanting to start things because I've been buying more patterns. Is Yellow Submarine by Blackbird Design. You guys know I got Strawberry Fields. So this is Yellow Submarine. And I love that. I want to start that and Strawberry Fields as soon as I get some of these other whips done. But I have a whole bucket of things there I'd like to start. Stephanie from Lindy Stitches had a new release. It's called Tread Softly. I bought the PDF for that. I also ordered the floss pack. That did come, but it's sitting across the room for me, and I'm not going to go get it. But I just love the saying on this. But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly because you tread on my dreams. And I just love that owl. And actually, I love the branch and the things that are on the branch. I just like it altogether. So that'll go into this bucket that I'd love to start. I also was turned on to a freebie. Teresa Baird. This is called Heart's Case. Oh, it's from Heart's Case Exemplar Works. Presents Believe Sewing Set. A gift to the stitching community humbly given during the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. And I had not seen these before. And I love them. So I printed off the pattern to put in my bucket. And I just can't be helped. I swear, I just can't be helped. I got a Dimensions stocking kit. And I just love it. Right now I have some old tapestry stockings that we have had forever. And I've been wanting to cross-stitch stockings. So that is on my wish list to do. And so we'll see if I can get this done. The only other thing I got, and probably the last thing I have to share with you, I think this is the quickest floss tube I've almost ever done. Probably because it's only been a week, is a cording maker, granite quarter, so I can make my own cording. I have a plethora, a ton of DMC floss here, and thought it would be nice if I could make my own cording since I have the floss. So that's it for haul. Now let's see. My plans. I already told you what I'm planning to do. Mushroom and Fern Monday through Friday. And then working on my WIPGO goals on Friday and Saturday. So how would I take the WIPGO pieces and show you where I'm at? How about we do that? So one of the WIPGO pieces is Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. I would love to get this done and up on my sampler wall for sure. Absolutely love this. I'm stitching on an 18 count Aida. It's the colorway Shale from Picture This Plus. I absolutely love this Aida. I would be happy to order more Aida from her, or from them. Absolutely love it. This is where it is now. I think I've been working on that bear up there by the honey pot, or by the beehive. I started this May 1st last year during Mania. So that's been called twice now. And I've only put 3 hours into it. So that's got a healthy amount yet to go. And if I could get those hours in, I'm sure you can hear my dog panting. They can probably hear you panting. I think that I might actually have a finish on that one. The other one that has been called is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. I've only had an hour on this one out of the 10. I'm telling you, life's been busy. So let's show you the pattern first. Land That I Love. This is another sampler I'd love to get done this year. That's what I kind of did with my WIPGO board, is I put on the pieces that I would love to get done this year. And then I guess when everything's said and done, I'll figure it out from there, right? This is stitched on 40 count Beach Brew by R&R. I have it all the way to the corner right there. And like I said, on this one I've only had about an hour. I love it. I'd like to keep stitching on it. And that's why I'm focusing on some of these things. Next. Which one is this? This is Emily's House by Lindy Stitches. I believe I started this during Mania last year. I'm not really certain though. Some of the called for, some substitutions. I didn't have everything called for, so I'm subbing in some of my own from my stash. This is 36 count Wren by Picture This Plus. This is 2/2. I neglected to say for Land That I Love, I'm stitching at 1/2. It's 40 count. On 40 count, I'll stitch 1/2. You know, when I'm done stitching, I just kind of leave everything and wrap it up. It's not nice and pretty. But I'm stitching this 2/2. Some of the called for, some of my own. I'm actually using a substitute for the house because I didn't have the called for, which I think is Grecian Gold. I'm using her crown from Belle Soie. It's a silk. And I like that color a lot. I love this stitch. You're going to hear that a lot because I have gone through my whips and UFO'd things that I don't love and things that I'm not going to stitch. Next one, I think I have 2 more that have been called so far. All right, the other one's been called. I haven't done any of this one yet. No, I'm missing one. Which one's this one? Pandemic Sampler. Yeah, I'm missing one. I am missing one. Let me take a quick peek. Oh, it's right here. Let me pull it out of here. I actually have a cubby right here with all my whips in it, which makes it really handy. Okay. So 3 more to look at. So eventually I'll get it together, guys. This one is Pandemic by Long Dog. This was a free pattern for a time. I printed it off when it was free. I'm stitching this on 40 count. I believe, oh, I should still have a sticker on it. I think it's Heartland. Heritage by Picture This Plus. I'm stitching it with a Silks for You floss in black. And this has gotten no time. None. This was called for me in, actually it was just called this month. So the fact that it's gotten no time should be no surprise. This is how far I am. I enjoy stitching on this one too. That's 1/2 with a Silks for You floss on Picture This Plus 40 count Heritage. Absolutely love it. And the floss is just so nice. Look at that. It's like a chalkboard black. It's so nice. And it's so soft to work with. Absolutely love it. So I'm kind of excited to get back to that one. Next one is the Pandemic Sampler. This was from Sarcy Girl. Just Google Pandemic Sampler. It will come up. Absolutely love this pattern. I'm trying to find the cover page for you. There it is. This was called, I had this on a couple times. This was called in January. And I got my 10 hours in on January. It was called again in April. And I got my 10 hours in there. But I still have it in this pile because I love it. I'm stitching it with all the called for DMC. I had some issues, so some of that 10 hours was spent frogging. I'm stitching this with the called for DMC. I'm stitching this 2/2 on 36 count Old Linen by XJU Designs, I believe. And so this is what I did. Number one, I'm stitching away, having a good old time here. So can I just tell you that some of that has been ripped out more than once, and I'm not going to tell you what ones. I also got a little nervous with the border, so I started to carry it all the way over to the corner, which puts it right here, which gives me 1 inch. But I'll have enough. So that's gotten its hours of work for the WIPGO, but I had to frog so much of it that it just doesn't look like it had that many hours. So we're going to keep it in the pile, and we're going to keep working on it. And the last one. Here I am. Look, I'm so conjumbled being in a different spot that, anyway. This is the final one I have for WIPGO is Southern Land. It was called in January and it got its 10 hours. It was called in April and got nothing. And it's by Owl Forest Embroidery. And I just love the colors. Just love the colors. I'm stitching this, I believe it's on a 36 count. It looks like just like a Zweigart, but I don't really know. And see, you can tell when I stop stitching, I just leave the threads and all. This is where we're at. So in January, it got its 10 hours, right? Was January when it was called? Yep, it got its 10 hours. Hasn't been worked on since, but it was called again in April. So it needs another 10. But I love the colors. I love it on this white linen. I just absolutely love it. And it's fun to stitch on. And I do believe this is just a 36 count white linen. No idea. Probably R&R or something. I like R&Rs. So it could be R&Rs. And that's my plan. So Monday through Friday, Mushroom and Fern gets my love. And then at least for a few hours every day, Monday through Friday, which will get it about 15 hours a week. And then on the weekends, I move to one of these WIPs and try to catch up the WIPGO goal. And I'm also doing the Lost No More every morning in the Modern Folk Embroidery. So that's a lot. I should get some stitching done though. I like having goals. It works well for me. So I think that's all I got for you today, guys. But thanks for joining me. And I'll show you more of my new space sometime soon. And I'm going to try to update you weekly on my WIPGO and my Mania and see how things are going. I hope you guys are having fun, whether you're participating or not. And have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.